Hello and welcome. Avion here. Today I'm going to be playing through the summoning. So, I'm going to be going through all the games by random studios from their earliest to the most recent. Mostly because I've kind of wanted to for a while, but I also kind of want to mention that I've forgotten all of them. I've done them all once. It'll be kind of neat to see if I get the same result on some of them. And if I remember correctly, this one kind of plays like a funny little, whatchamacall, chainmail? Like, like smiling dog-esque chainmail ass shit. I don't know how long this one will be. Apparently, by myself, I played it in ran through it in like 10 minutes, but then again, I wasn't reading the whole thing aloud, so that might make it a bit longer. But, yeah, let's get started. BGM. There we go. I'm now like deathly afraid since when I was playing Refined Self Part 2, the entirety of Part 2 I recorded it with the little shortcut icons for VTube Studio, and now I just have it so that I can look at how I show up on the recording just in case. I don't want to do that again. You've taken it upon yourself to indulge your curiosity by plunging headfirst into this game, otherwise known as the Summoning. Except, this isn't a game. I need you to listen and read very carefully, so I get this one opportunity to explain things for what they are, and you only get this one chance to comprehend it before continuing onward into something you may not be entirely prepared for. Yeah, like a shitpost. You're never prepared for a shitpost. They just come out of nowhere and hit you in the face. Kind of like the gorillas at the zoo. Before continuing on, you will need a few things. These items are absolutely imperative for your task. Okay. Fix it. Did I get a knock? I got a knock. And we're back. I just received a knock from someone else in the studio, in the apartment. And I live in a studio apartment, so I'm like, one itty bitty room, and then, hello. Basically, I live in a fucking shoebox. Anyway, back to the game. Back to reading the fuck. There we go. It is highly recommended that you play this game with headphones to get the full experience. If you do not have headphones, you may opt to continue anyway, but you absolutely, positively should have your volume at a suitable level, whether you like it or not. You will need a mirror, or access to a mirror such as in the bathroom, a piece of paper, a writing utensil such as a pen, pencil, marker, or anything else suitable for writing, access to a dark room with absolutely no lights, and most importantly, you need yourself. Now let's be real here. You also need an open mind. You may be one of those skeptics that like to mock things like this. Or perhaps you're just insecure with your deeply ingrained personal fears. So you're putting on a macho act. However, money was spent on these experiments. And if you fuck this up, you won't get your money's worth. So it's your choice. It's my choice to just kind of sit here and read along and record the funnies and not actually probably do any of the prompts. Because that requires far too much effort. With that being said, this is something to be taken lightly for more reasons than it just simply not working. Not working in this case isn't just nothing happening. It could also mean very bad things happening. Just listen. Have you ever thought about contacting beings from another realm. Things that were here long before we were. Things that walked among us. People we once knew that are now gone. Let me recalibrate VTube Studio. Stop picking up my mouth that much. Click. That. Calibrate. Calibrate. Beautiful, absolutely glorious. It was working fine a bit earlier, and then it just stopped when I went to go check on the dock. Such as things do. Perhaps things that never walked this earth in human form at any given point in time. What you are about to do is not for the weak of mind or faint of heart. You know, this also gives me vibes of like a sleepover. Like a sleepover where the girls are, you know, doing normal things like summoning demons, and the boys are doing normal things like fighting those demons. You may think this is complete and utter bullshit. You may think even if this is real, you've got no spirits or entities living around your residence anyways. Therefore, you've got nothing to come in contact with, even if this is, in fact, real. Well, let me tell you something. This is very much, in fact, real. And you do have entities lurking around you, whether you've noticed them or not. Yeah, can I have Dad stop haunting? I will not set fire to the local orphanage, Dad. I'm sorry. You see, entities can come along at any point in time for many different reasons that you'd never think about. For example, do you own something you've not made yourself? A pair of clothes, shoes, a hat, a second-hand item of sort passed down by a relative, perhaps acquired as a used or a pre-owned object from a thrift store. I mean, I'm my dad's ring from his corpse that I wear on my necklace. Yeah. One of the few things he gave me after he died. Or maybe you don't live alone. Maybe someone in your house owns something that fits this description. An ornamental plate, a cup, an article of clothing, a used book, a box, anything that was owned by someone that can now today be deceased. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was there when they buried him across from the fire station due to his pyromaniac tendencies. Either way, even if none of this fits your lifestyle, guess what? Spirits could travel a lot further than you think. I mean, it's not that far, it's just from Oregon. Not like it's even across the ocean. Do you have neighbors? Well, if they're haunted, so are you. The spirits just haven't been invited in properly to make themselves acquainted. Yet. With that being said, what you're about to embark upon is, by far, the realest experience you will ever get to have in your life if done properly. Now, there are rules, of course. For example, you've got to be alone. If you are not alone, the person with you must participate. If they refuse to participate, they must leave. Do not follow this instruction. This will not work. You start this process and you do not see it through to the end. This will not work. You do not follow every instruction clearly and concisely. You do not heed every warning. This will not work. Or worse. It's like you fucking up with a Ouija board or some shit. It is of paramount importance that you follow every instruction exactly as written. This is not to be taken lightly. This is not to be mocked. You only get one shot at this experience. Do not mess it up or you will not be able to attempt it a second time. Yeah, considering this is like the second time going through it, I'm pretty sure I'm kind of clear for nothing happening now. Before we continue, I'd like to explain that by venturing forth into this experience, you acknowledge that all supernatural damages or otherwise ill effects of any kind is entirely your own liability. By continuing on, you acknowledge and waive all liability on my part. I will not be held responsible for anything that does or doesn't happen to you, your belongings, or those around you during your session, or at any point onwards once the session has come to a close. Fucking legalese. Sounding ass. Once you start, you may not stop until your session is complete, which could take anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour or more, depending on how slowly you go. But you must complete your session, no matter what happens. By acknowledging this disclosure, you agree with all terms written thus far. By backing out now, your session will end immediately before it has begun. Do you accept these terms? I take full responsibility and accept. To extent of the terms and conditions, as well as full self-reliability for anything that may occur from this point onward. Now, just a reminder, you're going to need a few items as previously mentioned. You need a mirror. There you go, one to my left. A piece of paper, writing utensils such as a pen, pencil, marker, or anything else suitable for writing. Access to a dark room with absolutely no lights, and most importantly, you need yourself. If you are alone, great. If you are with someone, they must, and I repeat, must, do everything as written alongside you. This means speaking out loud, you both recite verses simultaneously, in unison. I will write various instructions for you to follow. You go around this room from place to place interacting with all objects in the room until everything has been found. This part is crucial. This is not work. It's because you did it wrong. Whether it's an unintentional misstep or your subconscious attempt to mess things up out of your fear of what may come as a result of following these instructions properly. It is 100% your fault if this doesn't work. Like, when I'm a dad and I have kids, and like one of them has a fucking sleepover, I'm like, here, you kids fuck with this. I'll be back. It's not an actual Ouija board. If it was a Ouija board, I'd be like, no, fucking hell no. This is still a little RPG Maker thing. I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. The first thing you need to do is have all lights, and I mean all lights, completely off. How do I turn off the sun? I don't think I can do that. That's not within my power. You should have nothing that provides any level of light other than the device you're using to read these instructions right now. The second thing you need is to be alone or with willing participants. Your door must be closed entirely and must not be interrupted during the session. You'll need to have the items mentioned formally near you, or when they're called upon for use. A quick warning before we begin. Do not, and I repeat, do not light any candles. You may think you're making the atmosphere more spooky. You may have read or seen on television that lighting candles can aid in summoning spirits. I just don't. Not only do you not need candles, but all you're doing is giving them another weapon to potentially use against you. Especially with this experience. Do not play with fire. You will regret it. Regret. Again, you've only got one chance to embark on this experience. What you get out of it is entirely what you make of it. If you have a closed mind, if you're acting tough in front of your friends, mocking the instructions, or belittling the powers that be, I feel very, very sorry for you. I mean, my whole reason of doing this is like a completionist mentality of like, oh, I'm gonna record myself doing all of Random's games. Especially because they have like the personality test and I get the little funny word at the end, and then I can compare it to the last time I got the funny word. You know, but this time I'm that unfortunately includes this little funny thing. The summoning. I guess I'm gonna say that. The summoning. Coffee. With that being said, this is it. Are you ready to continue? Yeah, knock yourself out. Very well. You've been warned. You may begin exploring around the room at your convenience. Oh shit, we actually get to control a character? I haven't done that and I don't think we actually really do that in most of the Redams games. Randoms games. Okay, I need a beer. Would you dare to leave your feet hanging off the bed when you sleep at night? Most people wouldn't. There's a very good reason for that. Oftentimes, the most evil of spirits will rise from the floor when a victim is sleeping and grab them feet to wake them from their slumber. Sleep is one of the most important necessities when it comes to keeping sanity. It's incredibly important for the mind, the body, and the soul to recover. If a spirit is aiming to haunt, infest, or even possess a living soul, they may target the victim's sleep to disrupt them when they're most vulnerable. This happens more often than one would remember. If you recollect this happening to you even once, doesn't mean it only happened once. It means that there's many more times that you don't remember. The living soul only remembers being woken when the spirit is strong enough to generate enough force to wake their victim. What this genuinely means that the spirit is already at a level of power that could begin causing real harm soon enough. They've been trying to wake you for a while, but they just weren't strong enough yet. If you ever wake up out of the blue and feel someone's eyes on you, that means the spirit's strength has grown so strong that they don't need to touch you to disturb your slumber. This is an incredibly dangerous circumstance to be in. The worst building stage of them all is being woken out of sleep by hearing a voice call your name. Oftentimes, a familiar voice like a family member or loved one. If this starts happening, it means the spirit is able to beckon your soul directly. It's trying to communicate with your soul to trick you into leaving your body while you sleep, so the spirit can enter your body and possess it while you're defenseless, leaving your soul to wander the spirit realm, lost and alone. This is often confused for sleepwalking in victims and can result in horrible outcomes. Where mirror? Where mirror? Where mirror? Is there mirror? If mirror? If when mirror? No mirror. I don't see a mirror. Better? Tragedy often bleeds from malevolent spirits, especially when love is involved. Be wary of those around you. You'll feel them. You'll feel their intent, and you'll feel a sense of warmth clouded by a freezing cold malice. Do not tempt fate with a second lover's spirit. Respect them always. They're hurting. They may want you to hurt as well. The more frightened one gets, the more tired the soul feels. This is called spirit draining. Do not let them win. Continue your search and finish your task. Please read very carefully, as this is utmost importance to getting through this experience with your sanity intact. I'm going to give you very clear and concise instructions, and you're going to follow them exactly as they're laid out for you. You're going to lie down. You may choose to lay on the bed, on the couch, sofa, or the floor if you prefer, but you must be lying down. Once you complete step 1, you will close your eyes and begin to rub your temples with your fingers very softly. Do not press too hard. This is meant to be relaxing and help you get to step 3. Once you've begun to calm down a little and sink into a feeling of relaxation, you're going to keep your eyes closed and count from 1 to 18 very slowly in your head. If you feel uncomfortable, do not fret. They will not bother you while you're lying down and slipping into a state of relaxation. This is your time to relax before activity begins to pick up around you. Once you've counted from 1 to 18 slowly in your head, you will now count backwards from 18. all the way back down to 1. Just as slowly as you had counted upwards. Once you reach 1, you will imagine that you're walking down a long corridor. The corridor is well lit. The bright white light, and you feel safe in the corridor. You will see a series of doors down the corridor. Take a mental note of what the doors look like. Every minor detail is important. What color are the doors? Are there any items lying around? You may see many doors, but you must enter 5 of them. Which 5 are entirely up to you. You get a bad feeling about a door, easier get to guide you through. You know yourself best, and some doors may not be safe. You may encounter entities in the rooms you visit. This is normal. However, be mindful of a few that you may meet, as they're not what they seem. Your senses will not lie to you, but the entities may rely on your sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing to judge. You may come across locked doors. If the doors are locked, you may find a key in another room. Remember, you are to visit 5 doors and 5 doors only. Do not visit 6 rooms. Do not leave at 4 or less. As you're progressing through these 5 rooms, explore and search the best you can. You must obtain 1 item from each room, for a total of 5 items by the time you're finished searching. These items can be anything of any value, any randomness. As they are not truly random, you may see many things you can take in each room, but your soul will be drawn to the items in which you're supposed to take. Once you visited 5 rooms and gathered 5 items, you will see a glowing red exit sign appear at the end of the long corridor. If it's glowing, any color other than red, do not enter it. If you're colorblind, you'll still be able to tell the difference, as you're not seeing through normal eyes. If the exit sign is not glowing red, instead look for a new exit sign in one of the 5 rooms you've entered previously. But do not, under any circumstances, enter any new rooms during this session. Once you find the glowing red exit sign, you may open your eyes and come back to whatever device you're using to continue this experience. During your travel down the corridor and into various rooms, as previously mentioned, you may encounter entities. If you encounter a woman with a black veil over her face, do not look at her if she attempts to lift the veil and reveal her face to you. If she speaks to you, ignore her words. Do not listen to what she says. If she follows you, do not turn around. If she tries to block you from entering a room, do not touch her or try to get by. Just go in a different direction. If the woman suddenly disappears, stay away from closets, cupboards, as she may appear and attempt to drag you in. If you meet a man with no eyes, he may offer you an item to take. Do not take it. Do not trust his words. If you come across an old woman in a rocking chair, ask her if you're in danger. If she says yes, take any items from the room and leave immediately. You may revisit any rooms you've previously entered until you've gathered 5 items and decide that it is time to leave. Last but not least, if you find a mirror in any of these rooms, you may gaze, at your own risk, but you may not like what you see. You may encounter any of these things I've mentioned in your journey. Regardless, they must be mentioned as a precaution. Would you like to proceed, or would you like to hear all the details again? Very good choice you've made. Do not proceed any further past this point until you complete the task scan. I wish you best of luck. If you're at this point, I'm going to assume you've accidentally proceeded or you've completed the task. Do not proceed past this edges if you've not completed your task. Where there's no fixing that you could have set in motion by skipping this trial. Do not press anything until it's complete. If it is complete, congratulations, you managed to complete trial. Right items you're able to obtain in the rooms you visited down on a piece of paper. Make sure you spread the names of the items out randomly across paper. You will use this later. Make sure to use the same paper for all rituals. The trial is not included. You will need it to complete it to continue. If you haven't completed it, you'll need to reset your session and try. This is of utmost importance, and these trials are mandatory. Trials must not be skipped under any circumstances. Yeet. I'm going to completely forget what my 5 items are. Fuck it. Let's just say it's 5 items in my room. Wooden spoon. Wallet. keys. You can hear them jingle. Sheena would be happy with this one. Sad bee. Instant coffee. Let's say those are the 5 items. What the fuck else can I interact with? There's a shovel. I can probably interact with everything, to be honest. Fix the wall. A bard writes tales of legends true, a wicked man's deeds and witches brew, a hero held by a morning light, and souls as pitch as the night. This rhymes and it makes me think of the fucking Green Lanterns. A cantor told, a ballad sung, a life taken and a bell rung, a willow made, an innocent slayed, never a word spoken from severed tongue. Wait. Please read very carefully as this is the devil's part against the experience of standing intact. This is one of the games. I'm going to give you very clear and concise instructions. We're going to write some things on a piece of paper. Once you have the piece of paper ready, draw the symbol shown on the screen as best as you can. If you performed other rituals, make sure you use the same piece of paper. Just draw over what you've already written. Looks like it's some sort of symbol. It's not even a symbol that like I can recognize or put to anything. But it looks very neat, so I will give them kudos to that. It's a very neat looking symbol. Kind of intimidating looking because it's all got the little like pointy X thing. Anyway. After you've drawn the symbol, write a word in each corner of the paper. And the words you will write are as follows. Yes, no, murdered evil. Oh, that's subtle fucking Ouija board shit right there. Yes, no, murdered evil. Once you've chosen which corners you wish to put each of these words in, draw a circle around each word and crumple the paper up into a ball. Place the ball of crumpled paper in front of you, placing one hand on the paper palm first, and your other hand over the top of the hand you're using to touch the paper. Now that your hands are resting over the top of the paper, close your eyes and recite these words aloud. I invite the spirits here with me to answer these questions 3. Open your eyes after you recite the words aloud and ask a question of the spirits. You must ask 3 questions total. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 3 and 3 only. The questions you ask reference the spirits in some way, such as asking how they died, or something about them that can be answered with simple words, such as the words presented before you on the paper. Be careful what you ask, as you don't want to offend them. Once you've asked your question, close your eyes and crumple the piece of paper and lay it out before you. Place your fingers along any corner of the paper and open your eyes to uncover the spirit's answer to your question. Read this process and draw a line for each answer given to the symbol you've drawn on the paper. If the same answer is given multiple times, draw a separate line to the symbol each time. You know what? This might actually can be kind of fun I could do. This one I can kind of easily actually do. I'll go ahead and do it. There's a piece of paper. Come here, piece of paper. We're gonna do something stupid. We're gonna ask my fancy questions. It'll work. Let's do this again. Let's do this shit. Let's do some fucking horror shit. Do some fucking Ouija board ass shit. It'd be the most helpful thing Dad's done in years. Let's see. Let's go over it again. Oh yeah, right. I should probably also write down the type of objects. Since the one previously was all like stuff and things, it's like you basically just fucking having a field trip in your brain, and then I have aphantasia. I can't physically do the previous task, or mentally do it anyways. But anyway, though, those items I picked are just in my room. So spoon, wood, and spoon. Damn it, this pin doesn't work. I spit on you, pin. Fun fact, I have a pin. Okay. Box. Box. Back to the fluid. Well, there ain't shit in there. I had to put it somewhere. Ah, okay. This is one I stole from work. Let's go with that. That's perfectly fine. Wedding spoon said the keys wallet and instant coffee. There we go. I wrote the 4 things down. 5. The 5 things down. Okay, back to actually doing what this is telling me. Oh yeah, draw this funny thing. That circle. The center fish. Middle U. There you go. Perfect. An artist. Yes. And now. Murdered. A vial. Okay, ball crumpling. Okay, here we go. Come on, Dad, let's play a game. I invite the spirits here to answer these questions 3. Okay, so let's think of 3 questions for my dad. It's an easy one. I'm trying to think of like a good yes or no question. Aha! Did you set the trailer on fire? Hey, how the fuck am I going to uncrumple this with my eyes closed? Yeses. Wait, what happens if I set the paper down like face down off of everything I wrote? Oh, this one. This is the corner. Oh, we got murdered. That does not answer my question. Dad, you died in your sleep. Peacefully, I might add. But fuck it, let's go with the line on the paper. Yeah. Okay. Trouble on the paper again. Let's do another one. Dad, I generally don't know. Did you do any art? Were you an artist of some sort? Were you part of where I came from with the artist bullshit? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to fucking unfurl things. Yeah. Evil. You're an evil artist? How dare you? You also drew porn? No wonder you're my dad. Okay, there's one more. Is there beer in hell? Or heaven? Or wherever we're at? Is there beer? This is my genuine question. Do you have beer where you're at? Okay, fucking rip the paper. Oh, yes. Sweet. Guys, there's beer in the afterlife. The paper now looks like shit from being crumpled 3 times over. Thanks, Dad. Well, let's proceed. Sometimes the dead leave notes forced to... Oh no, I accidentally knocked my camera. No! There we go. Sometimes the dead leave notes for us to find. The soul knows when the soul goes. Whether our minds do or not is another question. Have you ever found a note written by a loved one who's gone away? Ask yourself if it was written before or after they're gone. It's far more likely you'll receive a silent phone call nowadays, as most spirits were once people who have learned to adapt as such. Hello. Thanks, Dad. Glad to know you're here. Can you hear them calling yet? Dad, where's my Christmas presents? You missed, like... They count the numbers. After 8 and before 26. Actually, no, wait. What's 26 minus 8? I think it's easier for me to do. 18. Dad, you've missed 18 Christmases. Give me my presents. Some literature suggests that when a target or supernatural harassment feels short of breath, it's often due to a spirit that died as a result of hanging. They wish for you to know more about them, make their presence known, and teach you of their history in life rather than merely knowing them in death. This also applies to those who have died due to head wounds, and the target's getting massive head pressure or pains, according to many books. I have the webcam sitting on my laptop because I have a laptop because I use my laptop for everything. Anyway. Damn it, camera. Hey. Hey. Good camera. However, not all spirits just want their presence to be known, or they just want you to know what happened to them in life. Some have truly malicious intent and wish for you to feel their pain for reasons of spite. Simply because they're envious that you're still alive, and they're not. Okay, this camera's going to annoy me. I'm gonna finish off my coffee. Okay, camera. Come hither. Why are you being gay? You are not my friend. You are my tool. There we go. That's better, probably. I probably need to hit recalibrate again, son of a bitch. Click, click, click. Options. Oh, it seems like I'm calibrated fine. Okay. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I never know how this thing works. I just follow Google instructions. Knock, knock, knock. A breath on your neck will chill your spine. Yonder they? Just as you started, their power grows with each moment. Can you hear them calling yet? Hopefully you play this trial. yourself not with scribes of evil. You. Spirits often attach themselves to very sentimental objects, such as jewelry in many cases. Dad. Dad, your ring's over there on the floor. I'm not wearing my necklace right now. Kind of hard to wear at work. Sometimes they will pick jewelry up and carry it to another location. This is done to either bring attention to the living, annoy the person frightening them, or sometimes they will just simply not want the person to have jewelry that resembles something close to what they wore during their life. Well, I'm glad you left it in like the same corner over there. Necklaces, bracelets, and rings are quite often haunted, as many people have died, not only when being previous owners of said items, but during the dangerous process of gathering precious metals and gemstones in order to craft the jewelry itself. She will take what's yours, give her what she wants. Some of them might think it's like, oh, it's being offensive, me being silly with like my dead dad stuff. But it's like, you don't understand. This man would find everything I'm doing fucking hilarious. Like, if I had his skull, I would have. My dad's the kind of person that I would have put his skull on the mantle and then tried to bring a goth chick with big old titties over there so that he could haunt the skull and bounce into her tits one last time. That's the kind of man my dad is. Or was. A vile witch by the name of Helga von Stein was once the owner of the occult book that much of this information came from. She wore a black veil over her face, as her first and only husband was taken from her, making her a widow. Her husband meant more to her than anything in the world, and she would have given anything to have him back. So it was said that she made a deal with Lucifer himself to offer sacrifices in return for her husband's soul. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he'd give a shit at all. As she would never obtain a physical body for her husband again, but she was able to speak with him using mirrors and rituals, meditating, seeing him in the corridors of her mind when she'd lay down to rest, and communicating through scribing on paper using the proper symbols and words. In return for being able to speak with him nightly, she would place evil curses on the houses of those in her village that sent her husband to his death, and when they grew sick, she would drag their bodies to her home in the woods and sacrifice them using horrible, wicked, disturbing methods of torture. However, when this village was long gone, Helga remained. She had to keep up her end of the bargain, so she needed to find fresh souls to sacrifice to Lucifer, so she devised a plan. She wrote a book of rituals and spells and spent much time copying it over and over and over again until she had enough books to place in many towns where someone would find it. When she passed on, her debt would still need to be paid, so these rituals were a way to open a gateway back to the world of living to haunt potential victims so that she may appease her debtor. Yeah, fucking loan sharks. So as the unknowing victims would react to the rituals very seriously, so they would get a hot them in her presence down to the computer of those who would not. Until they found a way to break the curse they had inflicted upon themselves by falling for the treacherous tricks of Helga's rituals. I read it. He's here. Don't stop. Interact? You can feel her coldness in the air. Sets her near and feel her stare. Upon her rotten corpse does bear a symbolic conduit of despair. Once she's here, she doesn't go, until she pays the debt she owes. When you gaze upon her face, she'll take you to her secret place. I'm not replacing your husband. I'm not interested in the ghost coochie. Ghost coochie. You must not stop. It'd be extremely dangerous to mock or make fun of supernatural entities. All's fair in the world, and when I die, you guys can exact your revenge or continue to make fun of me then. Please, please do make fun. If you challenge them, they will respond. Not when you want them to, when they choose to. Got it. So, spirits, Dad, we will have that beer once I'm dead. In like some amount of years. I don't know. Eventually. Everyone's dying slowly, after all. You have to understand it, and many of them have been around before the dawn of man, so a human lifespan is a blink of an eye for them. They have unending patience, and they have nothing better to do than to sit and wait for the right moment to turn your entire existence upside down. They wait. They will wait until you're comfortable, while quietly snickering to themselves, watching every move you make, listening to your taunts, listening to your words, hearing your challenges, and waiting for the moment where you're the most vulnerable, most cocky and arrogant. They will take everything dear to you away forever. Beep. You're watching me? I hope you're watching me. You then get to enjoy the countless times that you noticed me just fucking whip my dick out and jack it. See, that's one of the weirdest parts of, like, if you're haunting someone, right? Like, they're going to masturbate, and then are you as the ghost going to watch them? This is a legitimate question I have. If you hear her voice, do not answer. If she cries, do not ask what's wrong. If she laughs, do not run. If she touches you, do not flinch. If she shows herself, do not look. Ethel? Many people believe that the only way to make sure the dead stay dead is to salt the corpses before burial, as salt is often used to bind a spirit and keep it from coming into our realm. I assure you, salt does nothing. I've tried it. I've tried everything. The salt does not stop them. There's a very specific way things must be done. Always. Keep going. Many known cases of hauntings, especially those of the most malevolent in nature, have been linked to the same symptoms in victims repeatedly, such as a deep level of unexplained depression and anxiety that seems to come from out of nowhere. Be mindful if you feel like something is near or making its presence known to you. You're suddenly struck with fear, dread, panic, worry, nervousness, and you can't seem to shake it. You may be under supernatural attack, or you might just have anxiety and depression. Please consult with your local doctor. And you, too, may also be on medication like I am. You want to desperately get out of your house, but feel inclined to stay there, but can't explain why if asked. Such as if your family or friends want you to go to social gatherings, and you'd love to go, I would not, but feel an incredible amount of social anxiety or stress when you think about going. As if you're bound to your residence. No, I'm just don't like being in a group of people that I may or may not know. If it's a controlled environment where I absolutely fucking know everybody, shit, I don't care. However, my social battery will drain like. They may need you. They may need to take a really good. Then you may need to take a really good, hard think about what may be going on around you, especially when all of our avenues do not seem to be helping. It wants you isolated. It wants you weak and alone, just like an abusive ex. Check the numbers, it seeks to divide. Here we go. Much of the room do I have left? Teddy bears. Dolls have been used for voodoo practices and dark magic since the beginning of magic, which, as we all know, has been around longer than man. If you ever attain a doll that did not previously belong to you, watch it very carefully. You don't know its history, you do not know who might have owned it before you, who might have come in contact with it, what magics might be at work, what spirits might be attached, or who might have died in the factory during its creation. All items come with baggage. Look elsewhere. All items come with baggage. So do people. There. Quickly, I don't have much time to write this. Take the paper you began with, whether it's blank or already written on, and draw an X through any word written on immediately. Paper is blank. Draw an X over any word as you write it from this point onward. I'll pray you find this out. You will thank me by the end of this. Neat. X. 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 folder for this one. X. Like how no is almost fully ripped off. The voices are not here to help you. Keep going. Music box. I like music boxes. Dolls and stuffed animals are a prime target for malicious spirits to use as a conduit into our realm. It's very easy for spirits to attach themselves to any object, but they choose these ones because they're often given plenty of affection and attention from the living. Tabby, are you going to get haunted? If you ever placed a doll or an inanimate object in one place, only to come back and find it in a different position, even though you could have sworn you placed it elsewhere, then you might be being targeted by a malicious spirit, as many people think this is an act of playful spirit. I assure you, there is no such thing. You want to bring as much attention from you to the object as possible, so you continue to look at it, waste time trying to recreate it just to see if it moves again, but it very rarely ever does it? No, of course not. Because then you throw it out. They don't want you to know. Okay, thanks for drowning and sustaining this. Just know that it cannot harm you, and if you do not let it, keep an eye open, but strong mind. Continue onward. Have you ever looked at a clock? At the same time, every day? 3 every day? 1:11 every day? 9:11 every day? Regardless of time, it's often the same, but why? When the soul is left on Earth after the body has perished, it will try to communicate with the living by subconsciously reminding a person to look at the clock. Over and over again. This is to let them know the hour of their death. Something is trying to communicate with you at all hours of the day, intending to squeeze in as much information through your psyche as humanly possible because you are the only hope of salvation in the afterlife. They will not stop until they have your undivided attention. TikTok. Check this bookcase. Check the bed. Different angle of the bed. Angle of the bed. This bookcase. I am not your enemy. I cannot find much time to leave these hidden messages, warnings, and notes around for you. I do not sense their presence near at this very moment, but they will come back. They always come back. I'm sorry to all who have begun this journey. I urge you to complete it. They want you to stop prematurely. They want you to not follow through with your pact, with your agreements. They do not want this for anyone, for those that got themselves into something beyond their imagining. If I did not follow through with their beckoning, they would never let me slip again. If you've made it this far, you've done well. Keep going. Do not falter now. The rituals are simple. They are tests of your will, but do not cut and run early. Do not skip any parts. Do not think you can escape if you do. They will not come. They're already here. This woman has made her presence known to you, then you already just know just how bad it can get. If she's lurking, but you've not seen her yet, whatever you do, do not, and I repeat, do not speak. Speak. Probably saying speak to her. It's very common for crystal balls, crystals in general, glass, and even mirrors to be used in rituals. Throughout history, stories tell of the deceased being able to communicate through mirrors and glasses, and even move between them to contact the living and visit them, oftentimes without their knowledge. Have you ever looked into a mirror and you have sworn you've seen something move? You did. That was an entity trying to pass through the mirror and into your surroundings, or an entity that has already passed through and is currently making its presence known to you. The next time you see something move in a mirror, try blinking rapidly. This will allow your eyes to pick up on any major movements it's attempting to disguise. It may want you to know it's there, but that doesn't mean it wants you to know exactly where it's hiding in your room. Neat. The crystal ball can be used as a tool to tell your past, present, or future. Only you can decide the actions to take to change any of it. Proceed with caution and align your stars. Stars. I've not interacted with the fireplace. I'll give it a all that. Clock. Piano? Many of the notes you'll find hidden around this room are straight from real occult books used in actual rituals from hundreds of years ago to bring forth things to our realm, or stories inspired by those very tales and legends written in such books. Once you've started something, you must finish it. Leaving a gateway open without properly closing it may be extremely detrimental. Upon agreeing to the pact when we started, something was open. The only way to close what was open is to finish what you started. Stay strong of mind and will, and this will be a breeze. Falter and you will fall. Or to keep the music playing. If you turn it off and start to hear it again, you're in trouble. Look elsewhere. Oh, hey, there is a mirror. Please read very carefully. Ah. You're going to need a mirror for this work. If you don't have a mirror present, you'll need to be able to go to the bathroom or somewhere with a mirror you can reliably use. If you're standing in front of the mirror, make sure the door is closed and all lights are off. It should be completely dark around you. You're going to close your eyes while facing the mirror and recite this phrase out loud while keeping your eyes shut. See, this is one of those things, like, I can't read a sentence and then do it with my eyes closed, and then that's the whole issue with the aphantasia thing. Maybe if you have an imagination, you can, like, keep the image of the words in your mind. I don't have image to reference. I have to somehow, like, muscle memory of that shit into my brain before I go try to do that shit. That doesn't really work. I need an eyes to see you clear. I need an ears to hear you near. I need a nose to smell your scent. I feel your presence. I give consent. Go ahead and recite it a few times aloud right now so you don't forget the words before you venture to try it. What's a mistake the words, or this will not work for you. Once you recite the words in the mirror, go back to the mirror and then open your eyes. Now look at the mirror. Trust me, you will not like what you see. Walk back to your seat slowly. Remain calm. Do not turn around. If you hear any whispers or a voice of an old woman, do not respond, do not answer. Just come back to your device. Oh God. If you feel like you're being followed, if you hear footsteps behind you, keep walking until you get back here and shut the door behind you. Your mirror is located in your room. Just sit quietly for a moment until the noises subside and continue onwards. I'll give you the phrase to speak one more time. Remember it well. I need eyes to see you clear. I need ears to hear you near. I need a nose to smell your scent. I feel your presence. I give consent. Now, are you ready to proceed? Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm proud of you. Shouldn't be. Do not proceed any further past this point until clear the task at hand and wish you the best of luck. If you're at this point, you probably completed the task. Do not proceed that. Just complete congratulations, but doesn't I'm sorry. If you heard any noises, write down what they were on a piece of paper. Use the same piece of paper for all which is present to you. If you hear no noise, just simply write silence. Okay. Fine, not playing. Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Hey, let's check the fireplace. Witches were burned at the stake throughout history, but so were many innocent people who were mistaken to be witches with very little evidence. The spirits of those wronged became malevolent and were far more dangerous than witches who were burned, as witches' souls often passed on much quicker, put aside while the innocent souls sought vengeance for the wrongdoings of their peers. Some of them have a message to send, some of them want you to hear it, some of them are around you right now. Listen, but do not speak. Red words? Yeah, okay. You can see their faces in the flame. Oh, that's fun. Is there anything else we can interact with? Can I interact with blood? Oh, book. If you can't take it anymore, you can end the session here, but please heed my warning. Once you've already started, you're much better off toughing it out and finishing. Trust me, something is lingering. Maybe you can feel it, maybe it hasn't made its presence known yet. But you cannot send back what has come through without finishing the session as agreed upon in the pact. Now advised. As far as you can make experience, let's see. Anything to interact with. In case my earlier warning was not clear, do not light candles. If you have candles lit, blow them out. Do not have fire around you when performing these rituals. I have no such fire. You managed to make it to the end. That was it, that was the last thing I was missing. You managed to make it to the end, or the beginning. However, I have some good news and some grave news. The good news is, if you managed to complete all the rituals, you've bought yourself a little bit more time to escape what you've managed to unknowingly unleash into your life. The grave news is, if you did not complete the rituals properly and skip through them, you got much less time to sort it all out than you realize. Either way, there's one way, and only one way, to break the curse Heldra has convinced you to bestow upon your livelihood. I use the term break the curse loosely, as the curse can never truly be broken, however it can be passed on. Want Helger to leave, you must offer another person in return. You must find someone else to carry out the same rituals presented here, and follow all of these instructions laid out before them. And just like you. You're welcome, chat. All of you, have fun with the horror chainmail. Like I said, this is why I said it made me think of like a smile dog and all those other like silly SCPs. This is the only way I could get her to stop haunting me. I had to make this. I didn't want to. I had to protect those around me and protect myself. She wanted me to help her spread her will. It wasn't a choice. I had to do what she commanded. But I thought if I could find a way to lay this all out simply, then well, like you could just keep passing her on and on and on and stay safe. The problem is, you don't have an infinite amount of time. Time is not on your side, actually, and Helga wants to pay her debt. She could be in many places at once. Trust me, she's with you now. Since the very moment you accepted the agreement, the portal was already opened, and she has been watching you the entire time. Maybe you've already seen her. Maybe she's appeared in your head. Maybe you heard her voice. She will haunt your dreams, she will not let you sleep, and she will never leave until she gets what she wants. You must find someone to pass her on to and write their name down on the piece of paper used for these rituals. Do not tell them anything about this session. Do not tell them what to expect, just tell them. They must complete what they've started. You can be there with them to help guide them through if you wish, but they must finish it in order for her to leave you alone. Once they complete the ritual, you must tear up the piece of paper you used with their name written on it, and throw it away somewhere that will never be found. It is not safe to leave lying around. You've come very far. I wish you the best of luck in getting rid of her now. Pass these rituals on to someone else before she takes you. Well, name's Chris, not responsible for anything that happens. Anyway, so that was the summoning, and I could definitely, 100% say, like, it's just one of those silly chainmail things, but just in game form, so it kind of just feels like a homage to that, and especially since, all the little silly bits of like salt that not actually working and stuff like that. It's like it's just a fun little like what did I say? Sleepover thing that children to do like with a Ouija board, although I wouldn't let them use a fucking Ouija board. But you get what I mean. And considering I, played this game, did all the things like years ago, and didn't pass it all, and as you said, the fuck nothing happens, dude. It's just a silly little thing. For $2, you too can maybe not ruin your life. Anyway, that went on a lot longer than I expected when I was trying to read everything. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and close this off here. Where's my outro music? Where is it? Chiados. Chiados. Where though? Can't find it. I can't find my thing. Is it over here? No. There it is. I think. Yeah, I found it. Dun, 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 dun. I'll just full screen myself real quick. Okay. Thank you for being with me through the reading of the summoning. Next will be the twins, and then eventually the test, and then we will actually start getting into the meat and potatoes of what Random Studios actually does these days. That's all for now.